should we experiment on the human genome? My conclusion is yes, but only with extreme caution and with strong regulation, which I will touch on later. The first lens that I examined is the ethical lens. So here is a poll done by Pew Research, and in this poll you can see that there is more worry about the idea of gene editing babies than there is enthusiasm. You can see in the very and somewhat categories that the worried is a lot higher percent. So, ethics favoring the human genome experimentation. So CRISPR and other tools can help prevent disease such as HIV, AIDS, sickle cell anemia. And this can create for longer lifespans and healthier lives because people are less likely to experience sickness and other complications during their life. The possibility to prevent diseases is often seen as an ethical necessity. The ethics opposing human genome experimentation. The first is the financial divide. And because this revolutionary technology will most likely be expensive, this means that it will most likely only be available to the higher class and will leave the lower class without the opportunity to this technology. Because this technology is also relatively new, there are a lot of scientific unknowns. We don't have any long-term test studies that can show the unintended implications of this technology. And because gene editing can take place at a young age, especially when the child is a fetus, there is a lack of consent, and they are unable to consent into these life-changing edits that will essentially affect them for the rest of their lives. The next lens that I examined was the futuristic lens. So the benefits in the future. Because of this technology, there's a possibility to substantially diminish disease and possibly eradicate some diseases. And because of this technology, there can be a less reliance on healthcare and this will be helpful because it will allow lower class people to not be as dependent on healthcare and will likely lead to less expensive healthcare. And one of the biggest benefits to the future is CRISPR therapeutics. And this offers this offers like a genetic cure to already obtained diseases. So according to labiotech.edu, at CRISPR Therapeutics, we have demonstrated that a one-time CRISPR-based treatment can result in a functional cure for patients with sickle cell disease. And this can be applied to lots of other diseases as well. Some consequences of the future. The idea of designer babies in which genetic therapeutics is not used for medical purpose, but rather for gender, eye color, etc. This can be dangerous because it can also allow a social and financial divide. Because not only will this be available to the rich, but it can also create the idea of genetic superiority in which people who have attained this gene editing will look down on those who are unwilling or unable to obtain it. And according to Sandy Sufian from Scientific American, CRISPR's tantalizing offer to achieve the supposedly best kind of people at the genetic level is an uneasy alert to those who are often judged for biological inferiority, who are often judged to be biologically inferior. So my solution, the use of CRISPR and other forms of genetic modifications should only be allowed if they undergo strong regulations and are confirmed harmless. This can be done by testing and long-term testing and hopefully harmless results. And I believe that it should only be used for medical purposes only, and this can decrease the risk of this genetic superiority and will eliminate the idea of the designer babies. And it should also mainly be used as therapeutics so that it is not affected into generations to come, and it gives those who are receiving this technology the choice to use this. And these are my questions.
Okay, thank you. Nathan, How did some preliminary information you gathered guide your research?
So first, like the ethical lens, I decided to look at both sides of the argument. And I think that really helped me shape my overall conclusion, and especially looking at how other people in the world, like the poll I showed, react to this idea of genetic modification.
Okay. What additional questions emerged from your research, and why are these questions important?
I think that sort of examining, I think I would have liked to go a little bit deeper into the futuristic lens, but there wasn't a lot of like statistics and information. So I think that I saw like some questions on, because the futuristic lens is more hypothetical, I have some more questions on what that could possibly mean for our future.
All right, thank you.